What's up, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. As you guys read in the title of this video, I just wanted to show you guys the top stocks that I'm currently watching right now and looking to trade in the second week of March, guys. Today is March 6th, and I figured out to make a video. I haven't made a video in a couple of days, and I just want to update you guys on what I'm doing with the stock market right now, guys. And for those of you guys that are new to my channel, I'm pretty much just a swing trader and a day trader, trying to show you guys that it's possible to make a consistent income in the stock market, right? So let's hop right into this video. As you can see right here, guys, this is a platform that I use, Think or Swim by TD Ameritrade. I recommend this to everybody that's new to the stock market to analyze your trades and help better understand how patterns work and how to capitalize on them. So let's hop right into the topic of the video, guys. The number one stock that I'm currently watching right now is JDST. This is actually an ETF, an exchange traded fund, and this is a gold-based ETF. And the reason why I'm watching this one very closely right now, guys, is because you see right here, there's an 8% loss just today, right? And that opens up potential for profit. Whenever we see a stock go in the red, 8%, right? That means it opens up 8% potential for profit. And this is an ETF that trades based off of gold, right? Like I said. And if we look at gold right here, we see that gold is up a ton today. It's up $14, right? And this is due for a pullback, in my opinion. We see that it topped off right here at $13.65. This is the first resistance that we see here. And pretty much whenever gold does well, JDST does poorly, right? And whenever gold does poorly, like when it falls from here to here, let's say, right, that would be a good time to play JDST. So if we look here, like I said, resistance at $13.65 right? And we see it hit up here again about 1363, hit again right here at 1341, and it hit again right here at about 1330, and it topped off there. Now it's at about 1334. So the pattern that I see here, right, is a falling staircase. If we see from here, it topped off at 1364 and went down to 1340. It failed to eclipse this 1340 mark, right? And it started to form a little bit of a downtrend from there, right? So we see it topped off at 1339. This is the 1 day, 1 minute chart. And now we see another staircase, a downward staircase starting to form. And now it's at 1334, starting to fight back up. But I don't really see it going back up to 1340. Or above that. So my particular opinion with this particular ETF, JDST, if we look back at it, and we go back to the 180-day chart, we see a huge sell-off right here, right? It's at $52.90 right now, and I'm looking for it to find a support level and start to reverse and form an uptrend. And we see the first support level here is at $49 to $50. And if we see it hold above this particular point, start to reverse, right? And we keep an eye on gold, and if we see gold stay below this 1340, 1345 level, right, and start to form a downtrend, that is when I'm going to be putting my money into JDST. Let's say if you're more of a risky investor and you want to hop in a little bit early, sure, you can put a little small position in right now at $52.90, but that's not my particular plan. The way I want to play this particular stock, like I said, guys, I want to see it start to consolidate, reverse, and form an uptrend, right, before I put any of my money into it. So if we look closer, let's say to the 20-day chart, we can see that this particular pattern has played a couple of times. We see it topped off at $71. That's the high that it reached, and went all the way down to 48. And from here, guys, look, 48 up to $60, right? That's about what, 20% potential for profit. And it did this a couple of times. Not the same exact pattern, right? It didn't fall down to 48 a bunch of times, but this is the low we see here, and went up from 48 to 60. That's 20%, right? And went down, back down to 54%. Or $54 rather, and then it went back up to 63, and from 54 up to 63, that's another 15% potential for profit. So if you were to be able to buy the dips on JDST and keep your eye on how gold futures are performing, you can definitely capitalize on this particular ETF. So like I said, 48 to 60, that's 20% potential for profit. 53 to 64, that's another 15 to 17% potential for profit. And now we see it starting to form the same exact exact pattern. We see that it hasn't started to reverse yet, like I said, but it's starting to consolidate a little bit at 53, but I'm still not convinced that that's where it's going to stop right here, guys. So I'm going to wait, like I said, until it hits $50, $51, and then an uptrend to start to confirm, right? And that's when I'm going to start to put my money into it. But like I said, there's a definitive pattern right here that we see, right? And we can play this particular pattern based off of how gold futures are performing, guys. So that's the number one stock, or ETF rather, that I'm currently watching. And like I said, if I get in at about $51 and ride it up to about 60, that's what I plan on doing with this particular one. That's 15% potential for profit. So that's what I'm looking at right now with JDST. Just to recap, it's a gold-based ETF. It's actually an inverse to JNUG. And JNUG is performing very, very well today. It's almost up 8%. I think at its highest it was up 9%. And this is one that I was actually in myself, and I sold off earlier today. I took a good amount of profit, and now I plan on getting into JDST, guys. It's all about playing these ETFs, hopping in and out of each of them, and that's what I personally do with swing trading and day trading. So identifying patterns is what I like to do, and make sure to do that yourself, guys. Do your own due diligence and understand how these particular ETFs work, how their commodities that they're related to work, and that is how you're going to be able to capitalize on all of these ETFs. So the second one I'm watching, guys, is GUSH. This is actually another ETF. I'm huge into ETFs, guys, and this one's actually a oil and gas based ETF, and it actually trades based upon how this particular index right here, S&P Oil and Gas, performs. So if we look at these charts, guys, this chart right here is pretty much identical to the GUSH chart. GUSH's inverse is actually one called DRIP. So whenever GUSH does poorly, DRIP does well. So if we look at DRIP, right, this one's performing poorly. So back to GUSH we go, right? We see that GUSH has obviously been uptrending over the past 2 to 3 weeks, right? It hasn't had a huge play. It hasn't had any huge movement, but it's been steadily uptrending, and it's been offering some intraday play and some nice 1 to 2 week swing trade potential. So I wanted to cover that here for you guys really quickly. So looking at this chart, like I said, steadily uptrending over the past 2 to 3 weeks. But if we look closer to that 20-day 1 hour candlestick chart, we see that there's a common pattern that's been playing along here, guys. So we see that it dipped all the way down to 1679. We saw a huge sell-off, right? And from here, we saw an upswing to about $21, right? And then we saw a support identified right here at about $19 to $20. And we saw another spike up to 23. It bounced off this support level again, back up to 23, bounced off this support level again, back up to 23.80. And now we're seeing a little bit of a pullback. And what I'm looking for closely with this particular pullback is that I want to see it go back to about $20.50, right, or $20 or $21, right around that range, so I could play this particular pattern again. We can see that this pattern has played, like I just showed you guys, 3 different times. We see it bounced right here at 20, up to 23. That's 1, 2, 3. So this is the exact pattern that I'm looking for it to perform again. So if we see GUSH start the downtrend and break below $21, that's when I'm going to start looking at it even more. I plan on getting in at about $20.50 to about $20, guys. And from there up to $23, that's about 13 to 15% potential for profit. But for all I know, guys, GUSH could just go to the moon right now and break this particular pattern that it's in, and if it does that, I'm going to be playing it a little bit differently. But for that, I'm going to show you guys in a different video if this particular pattern does not start to break down below the $22.50 mark. So that's what I'm looking for with GUSH right now. 15 to 20% potential for profit with this particular ETF, with only about 2 to 4% potential for loss. And JDST, another beast that's offering about 20% potential for profit right now. So these are the 2 top stocks pretty much, that are ETFs rather, that I'm watching right now, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, got some value from this, but make sure to do your own due diligence, do your own research. Don't trade these based off of my opinion or anybody else's opinion. You have to understand how these trade, how the patterns work, and this is how you're going to maximize your potential as a trader in the stock stock market, guys, because if you go based off of other people's opinions, you're going to lose money very, very quickly, and we do not want that. You do not want that, because who likes losing money at the end of the day, guys? So make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Stas_surfs_entrepreneurship. Link should be down below in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace.